Harry and Meghan were always the ultimate celebrity bog-off couple, as in buy one, get one free. But recently, some of their body language rituals have shown a distinct change. As a royal couple, their tactile, besotted and often sexy PDAs were constant and instinctive. In the US, they also kept up an endless stream of romantic displays and verbal references, oh, is my husband this, my wife that, making them one of the hottest red carpet couples. They hugged, they kissed, they touched each other constantly and emphatically. And like Ant and Dec, their brand was built around a very complementary body language double act. It was this level of romantic intensity signalling, though, that has made their recent professional separations so impactful. It might make sense for any working couple to build individual brands at some point, and they've needed to modify their body language accordingly. It's part of growing up as a professional couple. But there still seems to be a large gap that the other one used to fill when they're out on solo appearances across the globe. Back in 2017, for their engagement photographs, we saw what's called total twinning with their body language. Harry initially looked uncomfortable greeting the press. He wasn't their biggest fan, and it was Meghan supplying the encouragement signals. But as they walked away from the cameras, we got this powerful moment of total twinning with their body language that was made even more interesting and probably difficult, owing to the fact that there's quite a big height differential between the two of them. Their arms linked evenly around each other's waists as they walked, and they even gazed into each other's eyes, which is difficult when you're walking. You can trip, you can fall over, etc. But they did it in a signal of mutual intensity, and we could see their features soften in what's known as the look of love. In 2018, we got the sexual touching, the sexual PDA, and Harry's behaviour here on the aeroplane steps is very typical of they can't keep their hands off each other stage of loving and passionate relationships. Even in public, and even boarding a plane, and it looks as though they're on a royal gig here, they're very smartly dressed, he can't avoid doing a cheeky pat on his wife's bum. It's a powerful signal of attraction, but it also creates a very powerful silent tie sign between them, as in, we might be on a formal gig, but you're still the sexiest woman in the planet in my eyes. It's a naughty signal of appreciation, and it also displays trust in terms of any reciprocal response. In 2018, we got the famous polo passion ritual. And the polo kiss is a royal staple, but Harry and Meghan gave it some get the room energy back in 2018. It was a proper mouse kiss rather than the kind of cheek kiss that royals normally do, and Meghan threw her head back adoringly in a rather passionate display that made everyone grin and possibly even blush. In 2022, we get this photo booth flirting. Anyone using one of these photo booths will know how they bring out the playful, uninhibited behaviour and poses. And for Harry and Meghan, that meant some very relatable and impressively industrial strength flirting. He just gazed right at her, nose touching, as though still unable to believe his luck in such a beautiful wife. And she giggled and threw her arms around his neck, performing a nose-wrinkled smile as he planted a kiss on her face. So now we've got them currently working separate gigs, and clearly that means a change in the body language, dynamic and behaviours. We see Meghan working the red carpet by herself here. This appearance showed her looking a lot more Hollywood style than maybe her more regal looks with Harry. Absolutely beautiful, but her body language displays look aimed at or just instinctively happen to make her look rather lost. Harry's no longer there as a love prop and body language sidekick. And that impression is made even more poignant by the way that she rewears the red dress that she'd famously worn with him back in the day. Her legs are crossed at the ankles here, and that's often a suggestion of a low confidence mood, which is unusual for Meghan. And without the hand or arm holding with Harry, we've got her hands touching in front of her torso in what looks like a rather tentative gesture. Meghan actually looked grateful here to spot her friend to pose with, but when she did, her signals became rather coy and even oddly shy as she clasped her friend's hand in both her own and pulled her friend's hands in front of her own torso so that her friend's arm seemed to act as a bit of a barrier to hide behind. And then we actually saw her moving behind her friend for the photographs, like a shy child, and there was some kind of cute, sweet giggling going on, as though she was rather unsure of herself here. Harry flying solo is a slightly different thing. His charisma potential is clearly halved without his beautiful, clever wife beside him. But his royal training means he's got some fallback poses, like this fig leaf one, that's actually a signature of William's as well. Or he's doing these very playful, fabulously immersive chats with some of the children that he's meeting. And in a way that shows him at his very best. That's what Harry does so well. His facial expressions here do make him look relatively relaxed, and I suppose that's because he's back on familiar royal territory, and that means his muscle memory can probably take over. So if these two are planning or are building separate brand profiles alongside their very powerful double act, their body language so far does suggest that it's maybe Harry coping better than the rather tentative back to Hollywood return body language displays from Meghan.